Take me back to that era and describe that time for me in your career and your life.
Well, it was an extraordinary time, really, because, number one, models before me all came from kind of either posh families or aristocratic families. I think I was the first working-class models because it wasn't really an option. And what happened to me, I was discovered, you know, but it was to do with everything that was happening, as you say, in music and in art. And suddenly the fashion world needed a new young face, and I kind of fit the bill, really. I mean, it was as much a surprise to me as to everyone else.
But to this day, I mean, people try to emulate. When I think of you, I think of those lashes and those big, beautiful eyes, this mod style. At the time, Twiggy, who was your inspiration for that look?
That look I got, because I used to do, we didn't really have makeup artists then, so I did all my own makeup, and I got that. I had a rag doll at home, you know, a soft rag doll, and she had the painted eyelashes. And so one weekend from school, I decided I wanted to try that out, and I stuck on the false eyelashes on top and drew the ones, you know, and that's what became known as Twiggies when I was discovered. But, you know, I have to thank America for a lot, because although I was discovered in England, it was Diana Vreeland, who was the editress of American Vogue, who read about me and heard about me, and she brought me over to America. And I thank her forever, because she changed my life, because it was one thing being very well known as a model in England, but she kind of turned me global, as they say today.
So as we think of
just
the Beatles and also you, and we talk about the British invasion coming to America, and just boom, you experienced that firsthand. And when you think of the 60s, beyond the eyelashes, what articles of clothing, what looks really do you think come from that era that I think still hold true today?
Yeah, definitely the miniskirt, and I think I was probably very famous. There's a very famous clip of me walking down Fifth Avenue in the shortest skirt that you can imagine.
How did you do that?
That's how I dressed. I mean, I used to make all my own clothes. I loved sewing, which I still do, which is lovely because I now design clothes for my ranges, but I used to make them because I couldn't buy them. But I can remember walking down Fifth Avenue, and there's a film of it, and I did look a bit like an alien being, because I was, you know, I had the eyelashes, the short hair, the miniskirt, and all these young teenage girls were coming up to me, and they still had the longer skirts, and they were very plainly dressed, very kind of sophisticated, more like Jackie Kennedy, because that look hadn't got to America yet.
The Twiggyification of America had yet to happen, but the double takes began, right? And so everyone saw the mini skirts and the big, beautiful eyes with the lashes, and that you know, I mean, when I think of the 60s, we all think of you. And I'm curious, just to put fashion and looks aside for a minute, just as a woman of the 60s, where a lot of the focus tonight is on music, on Motown, on the Beatles, on Creedence Clearwater Revival, the Stones. What song or artist comes to mind for you?
Well, obviously, you say the 60s. For me, obviously, the Beatles, because they were a little bit ahead of me. I was a huge fan. I went to the concert screaming my head off, aged 13, 14, like every other teenage girl. They then became great friends of mine, and I'm still great friends with Paul, and I love him to bits. But to me, the 60s, the Beatles, the Stones, like you said, it was a renaissance. I mean, what amazes me now, I still, whenever I meet new teenagers and they come up every decade, they're obsessed with the 60s. I still get kids of 16 and 17. You know, they write to me, they want to know about it, they want things from the 60s. I mean, it's amazing. It never goes away. It's the decade that everyone is obsessed with.
All these decades later, Twiggy, I have a feeling you're still able to rock the miniskirt. Am I right?
I don't know, but I think I'll stick to my skinny jeans.